Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight on our news.
Former Court of Appeal President Dame Joan Sawyer weighs in on the Oban controversy.
$700,000 to pave Farrington Road, but it could have been more. I'll tell you how. Straight ahead.
I'm LeVar Smith. This is Fit Friday with Carl Walk-In.
Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, the Bahamas is set to be blacklisted as a tax haven by the European Union next week. The decision comes roughly 3 months after the EU placed the Bahamas and 7 other jurisdictions that were impacted badly by hurricanes last summer on watch. The EU says these jurisdictions, which were given special consideration, had been given until early 2018 to respond to the EU's concerns. As he addressed what the government was doing to avoid being blacklisted back in December, Minister of Finance Peter Turnquest says there was a lot of hard work and a lot of things going on behind the scenes to ensure that we remain known as a well-regulated and cooperative jurisdiction. Several bills were debated in Parliament last year to help facilitate the cooperation of the Bahamas as a financial jurisdiction. According to a report from Reuters, the U.S. Virgin Islands and St. Kitts and Nevis are also set to be added next week to a European Union blacklist of tax havens. According to that report, the decision taken by EU tax experts is set to be endorsed by EU finance ministers at a regular monthly meeting on Tuesday, when 28 EU governments are also expected to delist Bahrain, the Marshall Islands, and St. Lucia. Some states on the blacklist are Barbados, Grenada, Panama, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, Samoa, and Tunisia. In other news, former Court of Appeal President Dame Joan Sawyer says the Minnis administration may not serve out its entire 5-year term if it follows the path of its predecessors. Her comments come in response to the controversy surrounding the multi-billion-dollar Oban project, which has been the subject of intense scrutiny and criticism in recent weeks. Dame Joan says the Bahamian people deserve answers on a project she also has serious concerns about. Jasmine Brown reports.
The former Court of Appeal president did not hold back, as she insisted the results will be the same if the Minnis administration does not get its act together.
The question is, are they answerable to the public for what they've done? That's the real issue.
Do you think they are?
Always. That was my whole point in the lead up to the last election, that there were no answers being given to the public. There were 200 questions under the last administration that were not answered. And if this government goes along the same line and behaves the same way, do you think the public will react the same way at the end? Or will they last as long as 5 years?
Do you think they're answering, particularly when it comes to this?
Do you see it? Can you point me to an answer they've given?
Controversy has surrounded the project since February 19th, when Oban non-executive chairman Peter Krieger signed what appeared to be the heads of agreement during a press conference that was televised live. But this Nassau Guardian video revealed that Krieger did not sign his own name. Instead, he signed what appears to be the name of Oban president Satpal Dana.
As a civil servant and as a public officer, and my training, even in English, what we do is if we sign something and it's not for us to sign, we say for so-and-so. I would put my name and say for so-and-so. And that's what I would have expected Mr. Krieger to have done for Mr. Dunham.
She added that the Attorney General should address the matter.
These are questions, and in fact the Attorney General should be asking the question that you just asked me about the Oban matter. The Oban matter. He is the government's main legal advisor. He should be the one answering that question, not me.
Our news team attempted to ask Attorney General Carl Bethel about the matter on Tuesday, but he opted not to comment and simply noted that it was going to be discussed during the weekly cabinet meeting. Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis said that he will comprehensively speak to matters surrounding Oban Energies when he makes his contribution to the mid-year budget debate, which continues next week. Meanwhile, Dame Joan also expressed concern about the $5.5 billion oil refinery and storage facility complex in East Grand Bahama and questioned what controls are in place to govern the operation at the facility.
I am concerned that you're going to put a refinery there. And what are the controls, statutory or otherwise, to govern emissions from any refinery, govern the purity of any product, govern the safety of the workers, govern the safety of the environment? What are those controls that are there for the Bahamian people and for our future? Can anybody point me to them?
Concerns over the lack of an environmental impact assessment have persisted since February 19th, when the Minnis administration signed what appeared to be the heads of agreement with Krieger. At the time, Krieger said the EIA will be completed in 45 days. Reporting for our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, Farrington Road getting a complete makeover, which comes with a 7-figure price tag. It's just one component of a $10 million road improvement project, which includes road repairs in several areas this year. Jared Higgs has that.
At a cost of just over $700,000, the pothole-riddled Farrington Road is undergoing major works. The road improvement project, being performed by Bahamix, got started this past Monday with access to most of the thoroughfare closed between the hours of 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. It's certainly a hassle for motorists and business owners, but Director of Public Works Melanie Roach says doing the work at night would have meant a higher budgeted cost.
Nighttime work is extremely expensive, so that $728,000 could go up to $1 million. And so we're trying to be as, how should I put it, to be as careful with the government's money as we possibly can. Because, you know, the extra money that we would spend on doing overtime work, we could use that to pave another road.
Ryan Ramming from Bahamix says working at night and away from the peak hours is ideal. However, there are other factors at play.
One of the things we have to keep in mind is paving. The lighting situation is different at night. Illumination, you know, it tends to put different shades on the ground at night, and you want to be able to see perfectly when you're laying asphalt so that we can maintain levels. So that is one factor why we're going to approach this project in the day.
Of course, businesses on the usually busy Farrington Road will have to endure the road closures. Asked what businesses could do to cope during this time, Roach says they simply have to be patient.
I'm sure they are concerned, and we share their concerns, but the roadworks have to be done, because Farrington Road, I don't know if you've ridden on it recently, but it was in very bad condition with regards to rideability. I mean, it was just like riding on a roller coaster, just up and down. So what you have to do is to suffer through the 10 days to get a really new, nice road that persons would want to drive on.
Village Road is another street that's in desperate need of roadworks. Director Roach says that they're on the way with doing that. However, they've got to wait until they get the approval from the utilities companies.
We've gotten word from both Water and Sewerage and BEC that they have major infrastructure works to do in Village Road. So Village Road probably won't occur until the second half of the year. We're looking at doing Culbert's Hill, and then there's some roads in the Seabreeze area and some roads in the Palmdale area.
Roach says the plan is to spend $10 million fixing roads over the course of the year. Reporting for our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
In other news, Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Fred Mitchell has come to the defense of opposition leader Philip Davis, who was named in a recent audit of the Water and Sewage Corporation. The audit, conducted by Ernst & Young, revealed that the secretary in Davis's law office had one share in the company that was awarded a $9.6 million contract by WSC in 2013 when Davis served as the Minister of Works. Davis has said he was not aware of this until the audit was tabled and called the audit a witch hunt. Mitchell says it's clear the government is looking for something and will have to go to great lengths to get it.
They went and got the obituary from his mother's funeral booklet and attached it to the report as a means of proving that his secretary was a friend of the family. I mean, this is sort of disgraceful behavior anyway. They sort of apologized for it. But the point he made on his feet is this, that if you needed to find something if you saw something which was adverse to me, all you had to do was to just bring it to me.
Mitchell says a secretary in a law office serving as a nominee shareholder is nothing new.
First of all, Ernst & Young is challenged because their procedure was improper, both in law and according to their own principles. If you are finding something adverse to an individual that you're researching, you ought to put those adverse findings to the individual and have him respond. Otherwise, the report gets set aside, so Mr. Davis can go to court and have the whole thing struck out.
Well, it's Friday, and our Kyle Joaquin endured the pressure of another intense workout while getting fit with Smith. Here's how it went.
Meet Lavardo Smith. A former Defense Force officer, he's become a household name in personal training. So we stopped by his center along Carmichael Road today where my aim was to get fit with Smith, or at least try.
We're going to do a full body training. We're going to do circuit training, military style mixed with some of the normal stuff, personal training. I'm a former Defense Force officer, don't forget.
So, military?
Yes, military. Yeah, so it's like I say, circuit training. We got some boxing going on, and I'll carry with you a variety of different, I would say, training. One more thing. What we do here at Get Fit with Smith, I work out with my clients. If your trainer cannot do what he asks you to do, he should not be your trainer.
No long talk, we got right to work.
150 times, that's pedal, under control. Ready? Go. Too slow, slow it down, count.
5, 6, 7.
So that? Yeah. Getting you warmed up. Go out, count. You're gonna take your body, you're gonna twist. One power point, speed point, that's cardio. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 250, all right? Under control, I want you to count, I want to hear you. All right, let's go, ready, go. Count, okay.
But that was only the warm-up.
All right, let's go, bro.
Okay. It was time to put in our work on the circuit.
10, 9, work, 8, come on. 7, 6, under control. Come on, 1, let's put it down, drop it tight. Good, come in front of me, over your head, face me. Ready, begin, go, down. 1, down, push it up, come on. 2, 1, go. 20 seconds.
We did all that for 2 sets, but did the circuit in reverse for the second.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Come on, work. Yeah. 2, 1. Go. Head down. Hey, go here. Look at me. Go here. Under control.
Eventually, we made it to the final round, but of course, Smith had to switch it up.
Push. There you go. Dig deep. Come on, dig deep. Bring your foot to the tire. Touch the tire. Now with your toes. Right, come on. You good?
Yeah, man.
Hey, go to your mind. Go to your mind, baby. That's where it is. Ready? Left side first. Twist. Box out. 3. Box out. 2. Good. 1. All right. You gotta run from here. Bamboo shot. Now you warm up. Come on. That's how we hit it. You run it? Yeah, we got the job done.
A 10-minute run to and from Bamboo Shack, and we were done.
I just did this workout with you a whole long time. Am I fit with Smith yet?
Probably one more session, but you did good. I must say, you pushed. All right, for the first time, it was awesome. From 1 to 10, I gave you 8.5. Pretty good, above average. I don't normally do that.
That's a B+.
B++.
With another Fit Friday for our news, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Good job, Kyle. Still to come on our news, outrage over the brutal attack on a turtle in Grand Bahama. Plus, what brought officials from the Labor Department and the Industrial Tribunal together? That's coming up when our news returns.